I finally got done my spring break road trip, visiting some Longlines towers, and I got a lot of Longlines towers souvenirs over my spring break. So yeah, now I finally figured out what happened to this Western Union tower I visited on the way. One of the ones I recorded, but it actually was taken down. So I figured why I couldn't see on Street View anymore before I started my spring break. So mystery was solved. When I visited the site in person, the Western Union Tower was torn down, so there was nothing there but the concrete foundation the building used to be on, so yeah. And there's the 2016 cell tower. So I figured out what beacon it has. It has an FTS 370 at the crappy night mode, but it has steady markers. So that's good that it has steady markers, but the crappy night mode is just what sucks about it. So I'm going to show you guys the picture where the Western Union Tower stood. So if you guys can see in my one video of the Western Union Tower in the 2016 cell tower, the footings and the foundations are actually right there. So that's where the tower used to be. So I looked at the 2016 cell tower, and I got a picture of it right here from my video. So there's the markers about halfway up the tower, and there's how high it is in person. So the tower looks almost as if it can use two sets of beacons. But so after that, I walked over to the gate of where the entrance was to the old Western Union site, because I figured, well, here's how I figured out that I wanted to go back there. So I looked over at the fence and that surrounds the Western Union Tower site. So I saw they kept all the concrete foundations in the ground. They didn't take anything else out except the tower and the building. So since I saw the concrete foundations, I was like, I have to go over there and look at it, because that's what the road trip was about. So I went over to the gate that's where the entrance is, and it turns out the gate was actually left open. So I had to open the gate because there's no padlocks on it. So I opened the gate and I ran back there, and it turns out there's nothing left of the tower. There's no souvenirs or anything. Because, the only thing that was left was the concrete foundations, which I'd had no choice but to get a piece of concrete from the site, because that was the only thing I can collect from the site. So that's the Western Union Tower with no traces. Now, I did find a smashed up radiator at the concrete foundations, but I just kept that there, just like threw it off aside. Anyways, that's what happened to the Western Union Tower, and there's the beacons of the 2016 cell tower for Verizon.